Hi everybody. So I thought this might be interesting. Sometimes I don't want to poke a hole in the bottom of my pot to check the thickness, and you've probably all seen us do this. So I'm going to do it right now just to show you what I'm talking about, that I might not always want to do. So I've got about a half an inch. Let me get a measurement. Oh, well, it's on here. So these are marked off in half inches, and I've got just a little bit more than, if I can get it on, just a little more than half an inch depth in the bottom of my pot. But if you're not confident in being able to close up that hole, and it's for some reason, maybe you've already thrown the pot and you just want to check it, here's a good way and a cheap way of making a tombow out of straws and skewers. So this is of course, this is a straw, as you can obviously see. And this skewer, I have marked half-inch increments on some of them. This one is an old one, and they're kind of worn off. But you stick two uprights in a straw like this, and then you need one that goes through the middle. So the way this works, I made a video about this a very long time ago. It had something to the title of it, I don't remember, but it had something to do with making your own tombow. And then somebody, some very smart potter manufactures now a tool that is a measuring device that is based on this exact thing. But you don't have to buy something too fancy to do this. Just get a straw and some skewers. And so this upright, let me see if you can, this upright is going to barely touch the bottom of the pot. And I'm just beginning to throw this. And then this one over here is going to rest on the bat. And I'm not concerned about putting dents in this right now because I'm just now throwing it. So there you go. You have the measurement, because you're going to take it out of there when you have this one resting on the bottom of the pot and this one is resting on your bat. The difference is the depth of your pot. So I can take anything that's straight and just lay it across there, and that tells me about how, and that's exactly the same measurement that I got with the stylus right there. So that tells you you've got just a little more than a half an inch in your pot. And so you can just set this aside where it doesn't get moved, where it doesn't get, the things don't get changed. And you can check it later, of course. Then you would adjust, since it's a plastic straw, then you would just adjust the distance here. And of course your pot is going to get taller, and so is this part. So you're going to have to make some adjustments on a pot that's thrown to be able to do something like that when the rim of the pot is higher. So that's a good way to, let me show you what that looks like in here. I'm just going to move these back to where they were and see if I can, and get a better detail shot of that. Okay, so that needs to go down some more. And if you just twist these a little bit, twist like just twist it like that, it'll shove through the straw a little easier. And then let it rest on here, and then make sure that this one is touching the bat. Okay, so I'm going to move this around so you can see this. So that's what it looks like inside the pot. I'll turn it around so you can see it from the same angle that you were looking at. So this one over here, let me switch hands. This one over here is touching the bat. This one is level, and you can just eyeball it, guys. This is not rocket science. So you can just eyeball that. And then this upright is touching the center of of what I've thrown so far, and then this one is just resting across the. You have to have two, otherwise it would fall over. So this one is kind of the balance thing, but this is where the edge of your pot is. So that's what it looks like from that angle. Over here, I've got a bunch of them sticking out over there, and I've got another one over here. And if I have something that I'm throwing to a particular size, you know, I'll get this set, and then I'll leave it that way, and then I'll just grab this and check my height, or you know, if I'm looking at width or height, I can just set those. Although I do have a very this is my rigged up. Oh, I just poked that into my pot. Okay, so this clamp right here, let's see if I can twist that around. The clamp is something that came off of an old fan, and I wrapped a coat hanger around it, and then here's the point of it right here. So I can bend it and make it come to the top of my mug or bowl or whatever I'm going to throw. And of course I can bend this and change where it is, just exactly the same material that I use when I'm measuring with these. This is a coat hanger, and sometimes I'll measure the width of something. Let me get that out of the way. Sometimes I'll measure the width of a gallery for a lid or something like that with this coat hanger. It's amazing what you can just come up with from things that you've got around the house. Okay, since I have this out, I thought I'd show you how you can measure the depth of the bottom of your pot after you've got the walls pulled, or pulled to a particular stage. So I've kind of estimated how far down that should go, and I've got it. Let's see, I hope you can see that over here. I have this one resting on the bat, but I need to get the straw down to where the edge, where the rim is, and this one will rest on one side or the other to keep it level. And so I just push it down till it touches, and I already had that kind of estimated right. I guess I could go down just a little further. So these two are kind of touching. It's touching on this side back here, but it helps to keep this one level, and that's, to me, that's close enough. I see what it is. My hole that goes through the straw isn't totally level, but it is pretty close. There you go. I mean, you get used to using them, and if you're not on camera, you know, it goes a little faster and a little easier, but that's really all you need, is something like that to gauge the depth of your pot. So, and you could probably do something like this. Here's my other thing that I was showing you also, my little gooseneck coat hanger that comes off of here, makes a little to make that come exactly, or maybe I would want that to be a little behind there, but as long as I got it in that neighborhood, you probably can put my hand there so you can see where that is, but it gets it in the neighborhood of where the edge of that pot needs to be. I can just lean it back like that, and it's completely out of the way, as you can see. Here's the point of it, and then I can just put it down to where I want it, and then lean it back when I'm not using it. I really don't use that very much. I'd rather reach over and take one of these that I have already set for the height for, say, mugs, and I mean, straws and skewers are pretty cheap. So you can have one of these little tombos set for different things and just leave it that way when you get it set. And then where I've got on the windowsill over there, I've got a place where I stick them in that thing, kind of like a flower pot, and then that's where they live until I use them again. So that's just a quick little something, and you don't have to buy something real expensive or something that you may not use for very long, because after you are throwing for a while, you just kind of get used to how far down your thumbs go, or whatever the bottom is there. You just get used to it, and you don't need a tombow anymore. And so it's something that kind of outlives its usefulness as you're getting more and more skill. So there's your little tip for the day, free of charge. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Love ya. Bye. Thanks for watching too.